Greetings and welcome. I want to play a game.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
What's going on, traders? How we doing on out there? Let me turn myself up here. What's up? What's up? How did you guys ready to play a game? It's called the market, baby. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what was moving today. How did the SPY move? You guys let me know how your trading week went in the chat. Did you have a good one? Bad one? Was this a break-even kind of week? Let me know. All right, let's go ahead. We'll take a look here at the overall market. You can see we're heading towards that 391. I'll call that resistance from this day here at 391.36 there. So we'll see if we can get back into the 392 handle. It's kind of funny. I mean, we went down in the pre-market and then we bounced right at the open there, came back to it, and then got back above it, got back below that. Yeah, so just continued chop. At least for me, this is what I've been seeing in this environment is a lot of chop. We have had technology, take a good couple of days. You can take a look here this is on the daily. And so I'm going to continue watching to see if this can hold the trend, right? It needs to hold trend. If it doesn't, then that's where it can start breaking back down. Tech has been, definitely strong these last, a really good thing that Dennis pointed out for us. This is this week right here, and it hasn't been bad, the reaction, right? Now we're going to see if we can actually start getting back on up. What was hot today, what was not, we'll talk all about that. Let's go ahead. Let's start diving into what was good today. Of course, technology and healthcare led. Healthcare, we've been watching biotechs, stocks like NVIDIA, Moderna. Moderna was one that I was watching here, guys. Look how this one's really taken off. Look at the last couple of days. That was right around here on last Friday where we really started seeing it get above towards that 150 breakout. Then it got towards that 170 really quickly. It's had about, 17% week. So keep your eyes on Moderna as it continues going. More and more mentions of vaccines probably coming out in the fall. So we're going to keep playing the game there. Here's a game, riddle me this. Monday overall, market's flat. We'll see. BNTX, definitely in a trend. You can tell here, you can draw that trend line. Look at that. Look how it's held really well. Hasn't even came back to the 9 EMA. Really holding trend on this BNTX. VRTX, another one that I'm looking at a breakout real soon. Look at this. This has resistance right above it. Just went through this resistance here. Now we've gotten through a new resistance. We're going to look to continue pushing. Can we get to 300 there on VRTX next week? We'll see if that gets on up there. Regeneron, trying to get to 650. I was watching this one because it was off the bottom on Tuesday. It was on a support. I was wondering, would it get through 600? It got through 600 up there to 622 is about a 5-7% move on the week. Keep these on your radar. We have been seeing them strong. One that Jay Woods, so shout out to my man Jay Woods. I don't know if he's listening in, but Jay Woods is CMT that was on. He was on our show. I think it was actually last week, Thursday. But look at this, guys. Look at this BIB move. Really nice move up there. Has really started to get some move. So I'm going to keep this one on my radar. Has been one that's been really kind of pulled down, but you can see kind of how this is rounding about. This one could make a move back towards that 250. I'm going to keep this one on my radar. Biogen, keep the biotechs watching. Healthcare plans had a really big day. UNH had a nice day, so keep these on watch. You can see how they're really starting to push. Let's go towards the daily. Got back above those highs, so if we can hold the pullbacks, doesn't look bad right now. How short term is your bullish? I can tell you, it's real short. I think that we could actually get up into the 400 handle before we get knocked down. That would be a push back to where you're getting towards the 50 moving average. So this is the simple moving average. Look at the 50. It's right up here towards the 396. You also are filling in some shadows, right? We talked about, would this shadow get filled? It did get filled here. And now we're going to look to see if we get into another shadow area, which is this box up here, which would bring us actually right to around that 400 level, right? And so keep that on your radar. We'll see if we get on up there in the next shadow zone, up there to 400. And then you also will run into some of those SMA 50. A lot of people look at the SMA 50, the SMA 200. Those are simple moving averages. We'll see if we get up there. 4,000 for your futures. I could see it getting up there. But do I think we get back to 420? No, I wouldn't say that. That would be the idea there. What is going to bring us back down? Probably potentially another 75 basis point hike rate, but we'll see what happens there. We could talk about non-farm payrolls. They increased 372,000 in the month of June, better than 250,000 than the Dow Jones estimate. And so what does that show us? That there's continued strength in the job growth, right? And so what does that also tell us is that the Fed won't have fears of continuing the interest rate hike rate to try to continue to batter down inflation, getting towards their 2% goal, right? You always hear the 2% goal. We'll see if we're able to get it back down. Shout out to the poster that pointed out Mara yesterday. Yeah. There's a lot of these Bitcoin stocks have been getting a little raise, so I can take a look at that one. I have no problem taking a look at Mara. These have been getting a nice lift, right? Did the Hive get a nice lift? Yeah, not a bad little move. BTBT, let's take a look there. Bit Digital, Riot. You can look at all these names and look to see if you can continue strength. Of course, Mara is the strongest one, so keep watch on that one. Also, Hut Mining. We'll see if these can get on back and continue a push. Today, I'm taking it a little bit easy. So if you guys got questions, like I see you guys continuing to talk, keep it going. I got no problem today. I don't got Joel here, so if anyone wants to join me, has a camera, wants to come on stream right now, let me know in the chat. I'll bring you on the show. Joel isn't here to stop me today, so I'll go a little bit off the rails. Do you think the fact that Russia is talking about a unified Belarus and putting more troops near the border is going to bring us down again? All could be happening, right, James? And one thing you want to keep in mind is we still have what? We still have, political pressures around, right? There's talks still about what could possibly happen with China and Taiwan, right? And so just keep that always on your forefront. You always are looking to what? First, risk manage. That's your position as a trader. As someone that's watching your own capital, the first thing you want to do is capital preservation. The next thing is setting yourself up in the long term that if this is a decline, that eventually we know how long-term the market is. It continues on an upslope. You want to be kind of positioning yourself in for the long run in the next 2 to 3 years. What kind of themes do you see going on up? I'll be watching themes like EV, LiDAR. At the end of the day, I think we need to get autonomous going. So those are the things you want to be thinking about right now. Not if, when, brother, says Easy Mike. I mean, I can't blame you for that thinking. I think that would be the next leg down too, but we're not going to get into all that. Let's try to leave the politics to the politicians. Let's keep going towards some other news today. We did get Upstart really get hit hard, right? Let's take a look how Upstart performed on the intraday. Looks like we actually just went a little bit sideways. Of course, Upstart got hit with their preliminary revenues going down to 228 million from a 295 million estimate. Also on the high side there was 305 previously guided. It got hit today, but didn't really continue too much on the downside. What did really good in technology today? Some solar names were doing really good. I don't know if you guys have been trading solar names. This is one of my favorite, MaxN. Reason I like it is that it holds patterns. I always look for stocks in certain industries to understand which ones I feel hold patterns consistently so that when we go after, let's say, an area, because this is the hard part of trading a wide range of stocks. If you go after solar, you want to know some names that trade consistently and aren't so illiquid, right? And so the spread on this one just is about 3 cents right now. Just shows me more and more how I could trade a stock like this that has a spread of 3, but you got to be careful with other stocks. Like, let's say this cheaper one. This has a spread of about 3 cents and it's a dollar name. You got to be careful on certain ones, right? And so we want to see the ones that hold patterns. Those are the best ones to trade. MaxN getting off the ground. Look at this chart. Look how this is really getting going towards a 1445. There has been a big resistance prior. Let's go towards a weekly, kind of to actually give us a cleaner look. You guys can see how much I trade MaxN by all the drawings, but I'll do us a favor. I'll delete everything and take a look here. This is a weekly, and so you can see how much there's resistance right above it. If it can get through this 15 zone and give us another leg up, I think you're going to start really seeing this kind of get motoring on up. Why would this be moving? Well, at the end of the day, I have seen solar in the past have some seasonality going into play. There's usually a spike that we have in July going into a decrease in August, followed by a good seasonal push that's between August into January. This is on SunPower. I've done the research before, so maybe this is what we're seeing coming into play. Not saying that you guys got to trade off of that, but what I see out there right now. Of course, ENPH, the leader, really trying to push too. Look how this one's getting through another level also. This one now pushing through that 211. I'd keep watch on this one. This is definitely one that likes to lead. And if solar is going anywhere, I think ENPH is also going for that ride. All right, what's going on out there? SunPower, been well. Yeah, definitely. You got to keep those on your radar. There's also other names, right? Like JKS. Look at this chart. I like how JKS holds on the 15 minutes. You can see on the 15-minute, nice little pattern here. Nice little pennant playing right now. We'll see what happens in Jinko. But look at the daily candle. Look how this is really have pushed up. If you take a look here on the weekly, look at that. That's a nice little clear breakout above 70s, going to some other resistance right now into 75s. But from there, it can really start lifting. And you can see Jinko Solar really strong in a down year, right? Like since 2022, this has actually gone up pretty decent amount. Even though we've had a weak market, Jinko Solar has been hanging on. One thing to keep in mind. Easy's talking about TAN. TAN is the ETF. Of course, what's in there? You got like stocks like MaxN. You got SunPower, ENPH, Sol. So if you want to go for one that maybe has all of these and you're looking for more diverse play, yeah, keep your eye on TAN as it comes back. All right, Enphase model scale inverters kind of cornered the markets in that segment. Yeah, ENPH is pretty decent leader there. I'd keep watch on them. They've been strong ever since they came out, really, especially in the public market. We did get comments today by Federal Reserve Vice Chair. If you guys care on crypto, you guys let me know in the chat how you guys are viewing crypto. But she pretty much spoke in at the Bank of England conference in London. And she said that it was important for the foundations of a sound regulation in crypto financial system to be established now before the crypto ecosystem becomes so large or interconnected that it poses risk to the stability of the broader financial system. I think this is important to note because in the long run, what she pretty much was saying there is that the financial system and the cryptocurrency markets could come so entwined that if one really kind of gets hit, it can end up dragging the other. So we've been seeing how crypto's been coming down. Definitely got a spike back. But interesting comments there from Federal Reserve Vice Chair Brainerd today. So keep it on your radar. What's on with the run with Chewy? Let's take the chew. I'll tell you one thing. I just ordered some new things right now for my dog. So it is summertime, right? I mean, this could be maybe some seasonality. I'd have to go back and do the research. So I don't think seasonality is too much when you only have like 2 or 3 years. But hey, you can take a look to see if this kind of always comes up in the summertime. That'd be something to take a look at. I don't know if anyone has that. But you are coming into this, you see this weekly trend line, right? I have the weekly chart up. Look how that trend line broke, and you held pullbacks this week. That looks great. You held the pullbacks to the 35. It's looking really strong. And at least technically wise, this is trading really well. I'm not the biggest, believer, but you also hear on the daily, and we pointed this out last week, this looks like a perfect cup and handle, right? And so at least on the daily, you have a cup and handle. For weekly traders, you have a breakout there of that trend line. Monthly traders, you got what? A reversal hammer, kind of a reversal here, doji at the bottom. Then you got a bullish engulfing candle. And now you got that takeoff holding the monthly pullback. This looks pretty strong for some longer term traders, Donka. At least in my eyes, I don't even think this is day trading action. This is probably more day swing trading action as it continues to push and not looking too bad there. Let's see the RSI. Yeah, everything's pointing good right now. And one thing to be interesting to note, let's go to the daily. Yeah, you're getting the average true range to kind of increase, which is a good sign. That shows that it still has some momentum right now. And the money flows pointing towards the upside also. It is near overbought, so be careful. In the next couple of days, you might get a little bit extended. But interesting stock there. Chewy has been holding up well. All right. Easy, cool. An insider? Is there an insider on this one? Let me know. All right, let's keep going. Chewy's price have gone way too high. I agree with that, Walton. But I mean, at the end of the day, just like you got that kitty in the picture, I think, hey, we got to take care of our pets. I know how that is. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at some other stocks. If you guys got one to check out, let me know in the chat. I did see this cocoa, this Vita Cocoa company getting a little bit of a lift. So keep this one on your radars, guys. This is one of those SPACs that like to run. You can see here, we kind of pushed on out. I'm going to keep this one on watch. This is a smaller name, but it did push from that 10, trying to get through that 12. This one pushed off of a Bank of America upgrade. They upgraded the stock to a buy and raised the price target. So keep your eye on Cocoa. All right, so next week we got a lot to keep on watch with the earnings. So, of course, we got Pepsi. That's going to earn. That's the first major report of the week. You got Delta Airlines on Wednesday, DAL. So keep your eyes on Delta. Maybe it starts running early. And then later into Thursday, you got, of course, the banks. We'll see what happens with JP Morgan here. It looks like it's trying to get back towards the 120s. We'll see if it can get back up there. Of course, also you got Morgan Stanley. We'll see if this can get back through the 80s. And bank earnings really kick off the season. Of course, you'll get Wells Fargo. You'll get Citi, WFC. And those will be coming in on Friday, PNC. So keep this on your radar. It's going to be a lot of earnings talk next week. We'll see how the earnings come out. A lot of estimates have been they haven't really been revised to the downside. So this could mean that you see a lot of missing action. I'm not saying that I'm hoping for this, but something definitely to keep watch. All right, if you guys got a ticker that you guys are maybe taking a trade on right now that's going well, or maybe something you want to talk about, throw it up in the chat. More than willing to cover. I did see someone wanted to bring up MSTR. I remember we had MicroStrategy just a few while ago. What was that, like a week and a half ago? So there you guys see it, turning back around, trying to hold the 200 push. A lot of this with the price of Bitcoin, right? We need to keep watch what happens with MicroStrategy, but a lot of this is going to be dependent on the price of Bitcoin. All right, let's keep going. It looks like someone's bringing up, should we do it? I'm too much of a fan, France. You did it to me. You did it to me. The bros. Where's the bros? The bros. Want to see the Dutch bro? All right, let's do it. All right, I got you, man. What can I say? I like my coffee. Bros. It's coming around. It's going to be all dependent, I think, on the market, because another thing is if we're going into deeper and deeper recession and you don't see inflation changing, they mentioned a lot in their earnings that they're struggling right now with packaging, paying employees. So does this chart look like it could get back to that 40? Yes. Do we have 50 in reach? That's where I'll start seeing the trouble. But if it could get back, of course, now it's running into the 50 here. So it could start maybe doing a little bit of a drive towards that 40. But just be careful with fake outs, right? If the market just turns downside, this could come getting dragged also. So I would just keep this one on my radar. DG, Chris Woods, I got you, man. Let's take a look there. Dollar General. All right, so I've been watching a lot of these stocks, right? These are going into, you're talking discount stores, right? And so first, let's look at the industry, right? Because I actually been watching this, so I actually want to talk about a couple of these here. So you can see how this kind of got out of this kind of bearish. You could call it probably a bear flag or bear pennant. You could see how it got out of that. Now we want to start seeing if it can continue, right? And so stocks that I really watch, the leader right now has actually been in forms of like the last couple of weeks. Take a look at Ollie. Ollie has really been strong. That's been showing me that I could still keep my eyes on these. Then DG has also been strong, hanging out at the top of the range. Now, one of the things with Dollar General is that it doesn't move much. This is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing because you can manage your risk well. Bad thing also because the reward doesn't come as fast, right? And so you just got to be careful. I would keep watching how you see it bounced off the 9 EMA here. Make sure that it holds those pullbacks right now to something a little bit closer. Maybe use a close moving average. You want to see the price action not go too far away from the breakouts. Another thing that I'd watch is how Dollar Tree reacted this week. This really pushed. You want to see Dollar Tree continue to push. That's going to give us that next lift to continue pushing on this one. Walmart's the one that I want above the 25.50s closing. Right now, we're kind of close to that. We've gone up there even towards the 127s today, 126. This is one that I'm going to keep watching right around this 125.50. Been wanting to see this close above there, but you can, keep your eyes on a couple of these. BJ was also a favorite this week. The setup was really nice. Look how this daily action has been trying to come through this price action, came up, rejected the breakout through it. This week, it actually took off. This is from Tuesday. This is when I started watching it. It's already gone about 12%, but it's pulling back a little bit here. It's going to be like an 8% move on the week. Not a bad one to watch. And with that one, why not watch the Costco? Costco could be continuing to push Osco. So a lot of these I think are in play. CLVS. I haven't done that one, Patrick, but I don't mind looking at some cheaper name. Joe would probably get mad at me for looking at this. So don't tell Joel that I did this. I'm sure he's listening right now. I'm going to get in trouble later. But CLVS will continue to watch. It tried to hold that 3 today, right? You can see how it's heading right now towards the low of this pattern. It could break it towards the downside. From there, you'd want to just make sure that you don't get through kind of this support down here. Multi-layers of support, right? So there's a support right underneath it here on the 275. And then there's another level of support where you saw this consolidation happen, where you also have a resistance in this pattern. So around the 250. I'd keep this one on watch on the daily. It was a nice little pullback, measured pullback here. And then it pushed right back on up. So you want to see it maybe pull back to 275. I'd want to see around that hold. And then get right back into this. The volume's looking well. So what I mean by volume looking well is you got a big pump of volume. It faded off. And on the next breakout, you also got volume. Faded off. On the next one, you got another bit of volume. Another thing to kind of note, though, you've had 1 drive, 2 drive. Maybe you get a 3rd drive. But a lot of times after that, you start seeing some pullback. And be careful because this one has some wicked pullbacks, as you can see in the past. All right, what's going on out there? Buffett's name, Store Capital Store. All right, this one has. Do you know what the REIT is on this? Do you know what the dividend is on this one? I'd be interested in finding out. This is a real estate sector. And it's in REIT Diversified. I don't know exactly what this one does, but if it's a Buffett name, it probably has some good fundamentals. Let me see. Give me a second here. Let me see what the fundamentals look like. So, yeah, it's been doing pretty good. Earning growth rate 5-year 2.2. It just seems like one of those good fundamental stocks. Everything that I have, at least fundamentally, showing some plus side here. Return on equity about 5.8%. Revenue growth, the rate the last four quarters is 17.73. So at least fundamentals make sense here on STOR. It'd be nice if I clicked that one, right? Sorry about that. That was this one. All right, 8 weeks backlog of trains to ship containers by BNSF. All right, let's go take a look there. BNSF. Oh, BN. What is that? I don't even have that one. You looking at railroads? What are you looking at? Railroads have declined for a while. I could see these turning around. I hear you. I see you, change agent. All right, let's keep going here. Almost done here. Want to take a look at some other news maybe. How did Twitter react today? It just came down a little bit. How did oil? Oil really right back down a little bit here today. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily is giving us kind of that in-between candle. And when we get those in-between candles, it doesn't necessarily mean that trend's going to change, but it means watch out because you could see swings coming in there. So at least for me, it wasn't the best week, right, for names here. Oxy is probably one of the best ones of the week. Of course, that's with Buffett trying to get some more and more of Oxy. We'll see if he eventually just buys Oxy altogether. But it's definitely trying to keep pushing there. We'll see if it can get back up there through the highs of, let's say, I would say look for 65. 65s can get it start pushing on dailies and really start seeing it get on up through maybe towards that 70 outlook. We'll see what happens in oil next week. Jimmy Buffett. We'll get some Margaritaville this weekend. No worries. All right, rig count up. We'll keep watch. All right, Natty is overproduced, and we'll have excess. That's why Natty Gas faded around 10:30 yesterday. Good to know. All right, let's go ahead. We'll start wrapping on up. Keep watch on some other stocks out there. Tesla had a monster day here. Another kind of big move. We were watching early in the week and we would get up through that 700, and it had a great week, about a 12% week. We'll see what happens in Tesla, if it can continue moving towards the 800, or does it just do a turnaround here and head right back down towards the 700? To me, this looks like more like a bear pennant here, and some people were pointing out potential inverse head and shoulders here. But that's how patterns are, you know. It's all dependent on what you see. To me, this looks like more like a bearish bottom. And if it can continue through 800, it can break the pattern and then start really getting bullish. When that happens sometimes, it just doesn't follow through, right? So we'll keep watch what happens. Hey, I hope you enjoyed it. Tried to hang in there today. I didn't want to leave you guys hanging here at 4 o'clock. Normally, I don't like doing at the close without Joel. It's definitely more fun with Joel that I can talk to than just talk to myself. But I tried to keep it going here. SPY about to close here. There you go. We closed on up there. Where did we close? Let me go to the 1 so I can see the close there. All right. Looks like we got a close of 388.69, and it wasn't a bad close at all. That looks bullish to me. Looks like we could still ride on up there, maybe towards the 400. We'll see what happens next week in the SPY and the overall market. What will happen, of course, more talk of inflation, more talk of recession. The question is, will we get there? What will happen? Where has AB been? I say the same thing, William. Nah, he was traveling to St. Louis. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll keep getting better here at Benzinga. I know I can't fill the shoes of Spencer in 1 month. So I'll tell you right now, I'm trying hard to make everything better for us. I'm working hard on I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Coming soon, there's going to be some big changes here on Benzinga. You guys hang in there. I know that a lot of you guys are loyal listeners and watch us consistently. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
Thank you.